It's game time, all right. And with me right now, the Albuquerque Academy cross country team and head coach, Adam Kedge. Thanks for joining us today.
JP, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're kind of taking the show out of the studio, out and about. We want to talk some cross country, and your teams, both with cross country and track, and you as a head coach, by my last count, have about, 1,822 state titles, something like that. How are you able to repeat year after year and have such a strong squad, particularly with cross country?
We value our youth in our program, and so from the time kids are 8th grade or 9th grade, we make sure that they're part of our program and that they're getting love and affection from the coaches and attention from their teammates. And when you build from the core, from the bottom, that's how you build a quality program, track or cross country or any sport for that matter.
You are rarely in rebuild mode. It always seems like it's just a reload kind of thing with your programs. What kind of standout runners do you have on this year's squad?
Oh, we got plenty. We got both boys and girls. We graduated a good number last year, but each one of them has committed to the off-season conditioning, and with that, we've replenished.
What kind of off-season conditioning do you do? How rigorous do you push them?
Honestly, the kids meet on their own for about 2 months during the course of the summer. They meet every morning at 6 in the morning, and they run together, and then we don't start up as a group officially until the latter part of the summer. So at that point, we start meeting and doing formal workouts, but they already come to us in pretty good shape.
Running at 6 a.m., I don't think I'm going to make that one, all right, Coach?
You're not going to make the team then, JP, that's it.
The Albuquerque Academy Chargers hosted their annual Invitational. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. 24 teams took part in the annual Albuquerque Academy Invitational. Hope Christian Jr. Eric Sharton is making his mark as one of the top distance runners in the state this year. He crossed the finish line in a time of 15 minutes and 53 seconds. He was the only runner under 16 minutes on the course.
It was good. I had a plan just to stick with the front group and then kind of kick at the end, and that's what happened.
The Academy boys dominated as a team with 34 points and 4 top 10 individuals. On the girls' side, Albuquerque Academy also took top team honors with 58 points. Individually, Eldorado senior Jasmine Turtle Morales won the event for the second straight year. The time for the defending state champ was 18 minutes and 42 seconds.
It went pretty well, I think. I just tried to stay, didn't try to go too fast in the first 2 miles, because the last mile usually is the, where you need to, push it more, so that's why I went.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time!
Yeah, we got 3 game times. I guess it must be game time. Welcome back. I got some notes here because I want to make sure I get the statistics right. We talked about the state titles that your program is used to earning. The girls team won the last 3 team titles.
Correct. Yes, sir.
And I don't think a team other than Academy or Los Alamos won the girls team in your classification prior to or past 2007. Does that sound right?
That sounds right. And I think on the boys' side, it's past 1998. I think it's 21 or 22 years in a row, boys cross country.
What kind of rivalry do you have with Los Alamos? It always seems like it's you and Los Alamos, you and Los Alamos.
We got 2 programs with great kids on both sides and great coaches. Los Alamos is coached well by Rob, Kathy Hipwood, and now Stephen Montoya. And so we have similar kids that all have the same type of goals and work ethic. And anytime you get to late or early November, we know that Los Alamos is going to be a handful for us.
What do you hope to get out of your team between now and November when the state meet rolls around?
Good health, good attitude, and smiles on their faces. If we can get into the state championship right with that, then we'll take our chances.
Sounds like a great attitude. Thanks for your time. Good luck this season.
Thank you, JP.
We'll be back with more game time after this.
I thought I was pretty tough until I became a father.
Oh, I hate those things.
What do you mean you hate it? Real toughness is knowing when you need help.
We've all been there. Fried nerves, no sleep. None of us do it alone. If you need help, you've got to ask for it.
We need to fight for our kids' futures. It's up to all of us to make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Connect with resources and support at pulltogether.org.
Are you living the life of an athlete? The New Mexico Activities Association brings you Life of an Athlete, a resource for students, educators, and parents to understand the challenges students face. Athletes, did you know one night of drinking will negatively affect your athletic performance for 2 weeks? Or that athletes who drink and do drugs are twice as likely to get injured? Alcohol's effects can reduce a high school athlete's potential by as much as 20 to 30%. Are you living the life of an athlete? Log on to lifeofanathlete.com to find out today. Welcome back to Game Time. It was really fun being with those cross-country kids. If your team would like to be a guest on our show, send me an email, jp@nmact.org, and we'll try and find a time to get you on the calendar. We saw the latest Max Preps football polls this week. Remember, those polls are part of the criteria when it comes to seeding and selection. The poll is just one of the criteria points, but it can affect where a team ends up in the postseason. So does their overall record. And a few teams picked up a key win this week. Here's a look back at some of the standout performances.
We expected a shootout from Artesia and Lovington, and we got one. Lovington scored 16 points in the final 2.5 minutes to tie this one up at 52-all. This one came down to the final 10 seconds with the game tied at 52. Clay Hodling threw a 47-yard TD toss to Eric Cueto, and the Bulldogs pull out the thrilling 59-52 victory. After a scoreless first half, the Los Lunas Tigers took control of the Goddard Rockets. Los Lunas put up a pair of scores in the third quarter. That's all they would need, but they got one more. The Tigers improved to 4-2 with a 21-7 win over Goddard. Capital hosted Taos for their homecoming. The Jaguars' defense held the defending state champs to just 124 yards of offense and posted a shutout for the second straight week. The two played a scoreless first half, but the Jaguars pounded the turf in the final two quarters. Junior Luke Padilla scored twice. Capital gets the win 27-0. St. Michael's and Santa Fe gave us some fireworks and last-second excitement. St. Michael's receiver, Rico Gudele, pulled in the winning 18-yard score off a Lucas Coriz pass with 38 seconds to go, and they beat the Demons 32-28. Weird stat of the day, Mayfield has gone through 3 weather delays this season. Mayfield found themselves trailing early to Oñate, but the Trojans battled back against the Knights. Senior running back Matthew Riley scored twice in the first half as Mayfield put up 28 unanswered points in their 28-3 win. Mayfield is now 4-1 on the season with a bye this week. Volcano Vista got a little bit of everything in their 41-6 win over Sandia. Isaac Chavez broke off 2 long TD runs. They also scored twice on defense. The Hawks are perfect 5 games into the season. Escalante made the trip to Albuquerque last week to take on Academy. This was a close one most of the day, but the Lobos pulled out a road win 12-7. The Aztec Tigers picked up their 5th win of the year, this one against the St. Pius Sartans. The Tigers used 2 short touchdowns from Alex Parra to help them build up a 20-point lead and eventually hold on for the 27-20 win. Aztec will host Santa Fe next week before heading into the bye. Hope Christian had no trouble with Los Alamos this week. Huskies quarterback Colin Evans threw 3 touchdowns in the first quarter alone on the way to a 44-0 win over the Hilltoppers. Hope improves to 4-2. Floyd and Lake Arthur went at it last week. The Broncos jumped out to a 22-6 lead. Ricardo Ramirez with a couple first-half scores, but Lake Arthur scored 26 unanswered points in the fourth quarter, and they walked away with a 46-22 win. Defending state champ Eunice found themselves down in the first half against Texaco, but a strong second and third quarter by the Cardinals proved to be the difference in this one. The Cardinals reeled off 22 straight points. Mason Caperton with a couple TD tosses. Eunice improved to 5-1 with a 34-19 home win over Texaco. Melrose is off to a hot start, winning their first 5 games. Their defense has only given up a total of 32 points all year. The Buffaloes ran over Logan last week 50-0. Senior Tristan Senna with one of the longer scores of the night. Tatum improved to 4-1 with a 50-0 victory over Mesilla Valley Christian. Tatum picked up a pair of punt returns for touchdowns. Tatum will take on Melrose this week for the second time this year. Melrose beat Tatum once already earlier this season. Robertson bounced back from their first loss of the year with a win against Tucumcari last week. The Cardinals blanked the Rattlers 54-0. Robertson is 5-1 and at Santa Fe Indian School this week.
Another week and another list of some key matchups in high school football. Here are a few. Goddard is going to Lovington this week, and at halftime of that game, they will name their football field after Brian Urlacher, and the Hall of Famer will be in attendance that night in Lovington. So will we, by the way. Portales makes the trip to Santa Fe to face Capital. That should be interesting. Down in Las Cruces, it's the Bulldogs and Hawks at the Field of Dreams. And in the small school ranks, Tatum will meet up with Melrose. Each fall, the New Mexico Activities Association presents a Spirit of Sport Award. We look to honor someone who has maybe overcome adversity or a challenging circumstance, or someone that has exceeded normal expectations. This year, we recognized 2 individuals who represent the positive spirit and core mission of education-based athletics. They are Tyler Jensen and Max Magaha.
This is the story of 2 athletes involved in 2 different sports in 2 different parts of the state, but joined together by a potentially deadly diagnosis. Tyler Jensen is a football player and track athlete at La Cueva High School. A year ago, Tyler noticed a little lump underneath his arm that changed his life.
I was just coming home one day from hanging out with another football teammate, and I noticed a bump underneath my armpit.
We just figured he had some sort of a pulled muscle. Never thought cancer for sure.
Turned out to be a stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma type A.
Tyler, a 15-year-old at the time, didn't know what that meant at first.
Once they said the big C word, cancer, I was like dang, it really hit me then.
Over 150 miles away in Farmington, a 15-year-old Max Magaha would have his own medical emergency.
Every day, I had no energy whatsoever. It was tons of bloody noses, and the bloody noses lasted for one day. It was a 10-hour bloody nose.
Max was a healthy baseball player with symptoms of what appeared to be a cold, but he just couldn't shake it.
Could never get any breath when I was exercising, and when I'd exercise, the back of my head would pound super hard, so I didn't think anything of it.
It was at that point they took Max to the hospital, and he was diagnosed with AML, acute myeloid leukemia, a cancer of the blood that starts in the bone marrow and spreads throughout your body.
I didn't want cancer, but at the same time I needed something to change, so I needed them to figure something out so I could get better.
Tyler and Max had never met, but their paths were about to cross at a hospital in Albuquerque.
Yeah, I saw him walking around about whenever I was diagnosed, and I met him, played video games a little because we had nothing to do.
I mean, it was pretty cool because we'd be in different hospital rooms but be playing together on Fortnite or something like that. Or even when we were at home, in between treatments, we were still playing together other video games.
Tyler and Max were now teammates in the battle against cancer.
There's only so much you can take, and I mean, we feared obviously that we were going to lose him a couple of times.
Fortunately, neither family had to go through it alone.
It was nice to have somebody going through the same thing as you as a parent to kind of reach out to and kind of, find different strategies to help your kid get through the day. Because with childhood cancer, it's not just the illness, it is emotionally, it's really tough for them.
We relied heavily on them at times. They were from here, and they immediately integrated us into their, meal. They brought meals to us every week while Tyler was in the hospital, and we were really, really happy when we stopped getting meals because we knew Tyler was out of the hospital.
Tyler endured multiple rounds of chemotherapy. Max went through a bone marrow transplant and months of treatment himself.
All 24 hours, every day, you're just nauseous all the time, and it's not fun.
Both Tyler and Max had to battle a bigger opponent than they'd ever faced, but both had the drive and will to get better. No matter the condition or physical toll it took, neither athlete was going to let their disease win.
Watching my parents just watching how sad they were the way that I was, I knew I couldn't quit. If I would have passed, and I knew they would have been even more devastated, and I couldn't do it to them.
A year after the original diagnosis, Tyler is suited up with the football team and the words "cancer killer" with him every day. And Max is back to baseball.
To be back out here is it's amazing. It's the best feeling in the world, and now that I see how much I've taken for granted, I can't. You don't know how much you take for granted until it's gone, and I'm lucky to get a second chance.
Max and his family have moved to Albuquerque, so not only are both boys beating cancer, but they will soon be classmates at La Cueva High School.
I mean, it's going to be pretty cool. How I had seen him in the hospital hallways, now it's going to be the school hallways. I mean, it's kind of crazy because I didn't know him at first, and now we're going to go to school together. It's going to be pretty cool.
Both Max and Tyler inspire others to battle through adversity and stay positive.
I'm super glad that I have another year, more life to live, because, nobody wants to be taken at in their teenage years.
Neither one chose to quit after being diagnosed with a potentially fatal disease.
There's a lot of blocks in the road, tons of them, but you got to take it day by day, and you got to be as positive as you can. That's the only thing I can say. It's super difficult, but you just got to be as positive as you can.
Just don't let yourself get down. Even when it's the hardest, just know it's always going to get better no matter what.
Never give up. Strive to be your best in spite of any adversity. That's the spirit of sport, and that's the fire inside of Tyler Jensen and Max Magaha.
Congratulations to both Tyler and Max. Hopefully they inspire others to stay positive and always battle through adversity and never give up. That's going to do it for this edition of Game Time. We will be back again next week. Tell your friends, click on the link every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on the NMAA website. More and more people are starting to watch. We thank you for checking us out. There's always room on the bandwagon for more, so tell a friend, bring them on. Until we see you next Tuesday, here's your meme of the week.